Hi guys. So it's been like 4 months since I moved to Canada as a new immigrant, and it's been almost 2 months since I started my job search seriously. Yeah, everything seems to be smooth sailing. Everything um, seems to be like on its course, without any major hiccups or problems or issues. I got all my errands done that I needed to do as a new immigrant. Yeah, everything seemed to be smooth sailing. But weirdly enough, I've been feeling quite shitty, and I did not know why. And I needed to know that to address that. So, what I've been feeling in more detail was that I've been feeling very much demotivated. So much so that I had to literally drag myself out of bed every morning to the shower, and that took like some days that took like 4 or 5 hours. So when I get up in the morning, I just immediately those all those negative thoughts just consume me. Um, and yeah, some of those thoughts were saying to me like, yeah, it's gonna make any difference today. I'm gonna be disappointed again and all. So yeah, it took 4 hours to finally get myself out of bed and to the shower and just dress up and yeah, go to the library or a cafe. I was literally sort of denying the reality or avoiding the reality, which is another normal day, like which is very uneventful. Um, yeah, just normal day. Interesting thing about this is that this happened despite multiple like good news, multiple interviews that I had with multiple employers, multiple companies, and I even had an interview with the CBC Radio Canada, which is like the biggest national broadcasters. So yeah, as a new immigrant, I did everything that I could, and I was doing, in a hindsight, a very good job. I was doing exactly what I needed to do, and it was just more than that. I appeared on national radio, and yeah, I got multiple interviews, which in itself, was an achievement as an immigrant. And yeah, this is all within my first 3 or so months. So yeah, I think I was doing more than what I needed to do, I guess. But then, as I said, I felt very like shitty, and I needed to know why. So I've been thinking about why for, I guess, more than a couple of weeks. And this is probably the exact same reasons why you might feel as shitty as I was going through. So to figure out why I wasn't happy or I was going through all that I was going through, I needed to know exactly what are the sources of my happiness. So it turns out my sources of happiness is quite simple. It's mainly divided into three different sources, which is attention, approval, and achievements. I call them 3A's. So yeah, approval from others, attention from others, they're like very similar to each other. So yeah, I'm really happy when people say, "Good job, Kyle. What an achievement. And you're great. You're awesome." And you're sort of achieving things nobody could ever imagine achieving. Yeah, and achievements. So in the past, what propelled me forward was all these big or small, mid-sized achievements. So I worked some of the most prominent conglomerates back in South Korea, quit them, and then did what I wanted to do, and then got into another good company. So yeah, my life was sort of all about proving myself, um, that I'm capable, I'm competent despite all my circumstances and all. That was that was sort of my story. But obviously, apparently, that wasn't what was happening right now in my first few months of immigration to Canada. But I know that a vast majority of you guys are like super overqualified professionals, with international degrees, international work experiences, at fancy big ass conglomerates that anyone would know. But I know that it just takes time, especially in Canada. Things are slower, right? And yeah, I also knew that it would happen, it will happen, it's just a matter of time. But in this waiting period, I was feeling shitty. I was feeling devastated. I was hopeless. I was demotivated, and I wanted to seek happiness, seek joy, take joy in the waiting period, in the process itself. Because come to think of it, your life is going to be, I don't know, half of your life is going to be those waiting slack sort of uninteresting, uneventful periods. Your life can't be just full of landmark moments of joy, of achievement, of everything. But yeah, I needed to know how I could really enjoy the journey itself, as well as those big moments. So here are my strategies. So my strategy number one was to remember that you're still this awesome, badass, competent person. But as a new immigrant, you're really prone to falling for this human tendency, which is weak and fragile, to think that you're not competent anymore, or you're not as competent as before, because you're not seeing anything. However, this is blatantly false because, as you also probably know, you just opened up a completely new chapter of your life, and new page, new piece of paper, new people around you, new everything. You're literally building up your life from scratch, all over again. But as you also probably know, that does not make you incompetent. That does not make any competent person in the past incompetent just because it's not happening right now. They don't go anywhere. They don't disappear. They don't evaporate. They don't vaporize into the thin air. They're just there. This is, I guess, the most promising part and most effective strategy to remember and just keep in mind. Your the fact that you're competent, the fact that you're who you are, who you have been, and who you will be. It doesn't change. It's not dependent on your current circumstances. It's just there. They're just there. Seriously, write down. I like visualization. It helps you see clearly, than just letting whatever is happening in your mind happen. Yeah, just visualize. Write down every single achievement, your proud moments, your whole immigration journey, small, big, landmark moments that you achieved that no one else could think you could ever achieve. All the guts you had to take, all the risks you took, and when everyone else was saying, "Nah, you're not gonna make it," or when everyone else was a naysayer around you. Never ever forget that you're the same person, you're the same competent, badass, awesome person who already achieved everything. What you did, your past achievements, your current competencies, your characters, your personality traits that are awesome, your guts, your confidence, your everything. They don't go anywhere. They're just there, and they will be there. And seriously, honestly, think about this. This is not some sort of wishy-washy thinking. This is blatantly true. You are still who you were, who you have been, and who you will be. And my strategy number 2 is celebrate every single small achievement. And one helpful tip for doing this is to make every goal small, really small, like ridiculously small. For example, getting up in the morning, getting up in the AM, the morning, not past noon. If you get up in the morning, celebrate it. Celebrate this moment, be grateful for this moment, which is another point. But yeah. So in my case, getting up in the morning, in the AM, before noon at all, celebrate. And hitting the library for your job search, for your errands, doing your errands, getting the things done, celebrating. Or sometimes when you're like greatly demotivated, just getting out of the house at all, just getting out of the house. And honestly, don't go any further. Just getting out of the house at all with your backpack on, with your laptop. Or I don't know, a 5-minute night run, anything that just gets you out of the house. Just small, make it small as possible. And I guarantee you, if your goal is very, very small, chances are that you are always gonna be overachieving. And another tip to do that is just create a to-do list, and I really highly recommend that you use something like this, a whiteboard. This is available on Amazon. No emotions, no thinking ahead, no thinking about the consequences, or no imagining, no overthinking, just doing it. Like a machine, emotionless, cold, bitter machine without thinking anything. When any intrusive thoughts automatically come to you, which they will, recognize them. Oh, okay, this thought just came to me. Well, okay, it's there, and let it be. Don't fight the thoughts, just let them be. And move on and do your thing. And before you know it, you will not be thinking about that thought anymore. Focus, like mindlessly, thoughtlessly, just focus on your task. And I promise you, at the end of the day, you'll be thanking the machine you chose to be. And my last strategy, which is strategy number 3, is to keep a gratitude journal. I also bought this from Amazon, and I want to point out that this gratitude, this being thankful is all about intentionally doing it. Human nature tends to complain and focus on lack, what we don't have, what others have, just being completely ignorant of what we do have, what we have achieved, and what we do receive every single day. All the while, there are thousands of millions of people who would kill for a day that we're having right now. And again, this gratitude journaling, it has to be intentional gratitude. You have to strive. You have to fight for being able to be grateful. And if you're really struggling about this, struggling to be more grateful, give it a couple days or even weeks if necessary, and talk to people around you. Just make small talks. Just ask how they are, how they're doing, what they are doing, and ask about their own problems or issues. Start by starting with your own problems and issues. You will be amazed. Your mind will be blown away by how much you got, how many things, how many items, like gratitude items you're supposed to be grateful for after like visualizing list down all your items of gratitude in a gratitude journal like this. Or just do it on a piece of paper. So, to sum up my 3 strategies, number 1, remember that you're still the same competent, badass, awesome person you always used to be, have been, and will be. Because your abilities don't go anywhere, your competency is just there, it will be there, they're just there, they don't go anywhere. And visualize all your competencies, your past achievements, and just know that they don't go anywhere. So it's only logical that you celebrate every single small things you do. Last but not least, keep a gratitude journal, really. It has to focus on what you do have, and instead of being jealous, you really change the game, you turn the tables. So if you liked my video, or if you could sympathize with me and my story, and if you're a fellow immigrant, do hit the subscribe button and don't miss my next video.